Welcome everyone to episode 69. I have a very special guest and a new friend. So I'm super excited because this is going to be really raw because I'm asking these questions for myself.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fun. Alexis Mastrogianni.
Yes.
I practiced before I said it.
Mastrogianni.
Yep. Virtual Integrity Partners.
Yes.
Tell everybody. First of all, thank you for being here.
Of course. I'm excited to be here with you.
I appreciate it. Tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Yes, absolutely. Well, my name is Alexis Mastrogianni. As she said, I am the founder of Virtual Integrity Partners, and we are an operations agency where essentially we help service-based business owners who are scaling really just find the plugs either financially within their team or even just within their sanity that they're trying to fix within their business as they are growing. So we come in, we do audits, we do the build out, we also do the implementation and support. And yeah, it's really just more so than just building out systems. It's more of like, how can we help you get your life back with your business?
So many questions. So right off the bat, so many questions.
So many questions.
Okay. Yeah. First of all, how'd you get started in this?
Yeah, funny enough. So I've been an entrepreneur now for 9 years. I just celebrated 9 years, which is wild. And really how I got into this role was essentially first of all, I never wanted to be an entrepreneur. So let's just start there. Never wanted to be an entrepreneur. I knew the ups and downs and the crazy that came with it because my dad was an entrepreneur, but somehow fell into it. My first venture was a Latin dance studio here in South Florida. Ran that for 3.5 years, learned so much. I was 22 years old. So I literally was like a brick and mortar just from everything, you know? So COVID hit, closed that, and decided to just really jump into branding and marketing and helping other women essentially grow on social media. So I focused on that for a while and was doing coaching. And while in the midst of coaching, I realized the missing factor every single time was implementation that you could trust, because everybody was paying contractors here and there. They wouldn't follow through on their services. And I was like, you know what? Actually, I'm really good at figuring out the strategy, but I'm also really good at getting things done. And so I had decided to jump into the virtual assistant world, and I got contracted in marketing and branding. And essentially I was working with all of these different business owners, just helping them scale their marketing and scaling their processes and their systems and their brand. And then I realized, I can do this better myself, because I didn't say I actually was contracted by an agency to do that. And I was like, okay, do I want to take this venture on again? Do I want to be an entrepreneur? I really want to push through. I was like, so my mom and my sister-in-law needed work at the time. And I was just like, all right, guys, like check out this virtual assistant agency. Like they'll hire you. I'm doing so well there. They have so much more years of admin experience than I ever did. And they tried, and they denied them. And I was like, offended immediately. Because I'm like, okay, first of all, this is my family. But second of all, they have so much experience. What are you doing? And I was like, you know what? I think it's time to put this entrepreneur hat back on and really do this the way that I know it can be done and successfully. So me, my mom, and my sister-in-law had started and launched Virtual Integrity Partners. And it formed from really just being, an executive assistant, virtual assistant agency, to really seeing and identifying what the need and real solution was for business owners, which was the back end, which was like the systems and the operations and helping them scale and succeed. And seeing that, I was like, oh my God, guys, I think it's time for us to really just go in this concept and idea. And that was how we got here. And ever since then, we've just been helping business owners scale. Really, I think my favorite part is the sigh of relief and deep breath that we get with them. Just seeing that impact of the difference of just changing certain things and them getting their time back to spend with their families. I mean, it's really been like the most fulfilling journey, honestly. So, yeah.
That is incredible. And I think sitting in this seat for 6 years, but my family owned agencies in the past, and out of everything I heard you say, really, because I think people can have strategies, right? Yeah. Like I think a regular entrepreneur, if they think enough, and now with the support of all these AI platforms, sure, you can pump out a strategy. Mm-hmm. An above average one, let's say, right?
I would say so.
Right. If you're good at prompting, you're clear what you want, and you just need like a roadmap. Mm-hmm. Cool. Fair.
Correct.
Not saying that you're not needed in that space,
but it's real.
But I really think the implementation is where all of us lack.
Yes.
We just don't have the time, because it doesn't matter what platform or what your brain can think of as far as a strategy. If you don't know how, the how is critical. Mm-hmm. Why do you think we don't know how to do it?
You know what? Something that I'm realizing is there's a lot of noise. there's a lot of noise on the how. Everybody and their mom is doing it a different way of succeeding, a different system, a different process, a different funnel, a different, and what happens is a lot of people, like you said, can grab the strategy, but the implementation and the how is where it's missing, because also it takes time. And what do most CEOs and founders? They don't have time. They have to focus on the vision of their business. They have to focus on the sales of their business. They have to make sure that the team is doing well. They have to be that visionary role. And it's hard to be the visionary, the implementer, the social media guide, guru, the face of the business, the brand, the sales. And then let alone you have a whole family at home that you have to tend to and meet and manage, let alone your own mental health that you have to meet and manage, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's really comes down to the time. And so I think that's where that missing gap is first of all, how do I find a good hire to implement and put in the time that I don't have? And also, am I making sure that the strategy that I have is going to work when I go to the how of like the implementation process? And then once you have those two things in place, having that person that you can trust with your gut and everything for your baby, for your business, you know what I mean? It is a game changer, because that's where you start to really see the change happening in your business, because now things are being executed in a timely manner. You're getting to test things as they need to, So I really feel like it just comes down to time overall. It's just, they don't have the time, and they're either not putting in the effort to make sure that they find someone to put in the time. And that's where a lot of businesses bottleneck.
I think too, I like what you said earlier, because I think you're very on, obviously it's your business, but know that there's a lot of fugazis in that space, for lack of a better term, right? Yes. There's a lot of people that can say they do it and then poof, they're gone.
Correct.
They themselves can't implement.
Yes.
Or follow through. So, so if someone is looking to hire for this position, right? Like as a business owner that's never done it, we don't know who to trust. What would you suggest? Like, what are a couple questions that we should be asking?
Absolutely. So I would say the first thing that I always recommend to anybody who is hiring is doing a trial or a test. Always in the beginning. You should always do some sort of trial or test. Meaning, for example, even when it comes to like an executive assistant or any of that, give them like 3 tasks that you want them to knock out. Pay them for their time hourly. Like, hey, listen, I will pay you this. I need you to execute X, Y, and Z. Or even before the interview, within the process, like here's something that I'm needing you to do. Let's make sure you can do it. Because without any sort of trial period or testing period, that is where you set yourself up for failure, because you're just taking their word for it, which again, we would hope that we could take people's words for what they do and the work that they do. But there is just, unfortunately, a lot of people who are just in it for the money and they don't come through with the follow through. So I always say, have a test period, have a trial period, give them some sort of set of tasks to complete that would be for that role. Another thing, ask for their resume. Like, send me the work in the systems that you have completed. Show me some tangibles that you have. Again, even that can get a little sketchy because people can make things up online, right? So I think it's just about asking pertinent questions that are specific for what it is that you're looking for, that you can start to kind of like scan out people of like, who's just giving me a bunch of like mumble jumble and who's actually giving me like this step by step that I need. And then this is not necessarily, I guess you could say, something that a lot of people do, because it's not, I guess, popular to do this. But for me, I am a person, and I just talked about this on my Instagram the other day, about looking in their life for excellence overall. Like, yes, I want to hire you for this task, right? Like, I think you'll be a really great person for this role, but do your market research on the person. What does their life look like? Like, I'm sorry, I'm looking at their social media. I'm looking at everything. I want to know who this person is, because if I'm bringing you into something that I have put my blood, sweat, and tears into, I want to make sure that you are also a person that is striving for excellence in all other parts of your life. Because if you are striving for excellence in your health, in your family, and all of these things, you're probably going to do the same thing in your work, right? Like, it's like almost like how you do one thing, you do all things. And so I think that's another missing factor that a lot of business owners don't look at, because they're just like, oh, well, they're just here to do their job. No, that person is in your space. Their energy is in your space. Their energy is around either your family, your employees, like people that are pertinent to your business. And if they are not going to function at a level of excellence that you are really looking for and need, they should not be around.
Also, in certain roles that you hire for, they're like in your business.
Yes.
They're like in your information. They have your personal data. Like, I agree. And I think that as business owners, we almost look at that role as like a entry lower level, and it's not. It needs to be a very trusted.
Yep.
There needs to be a good gut feeling that you're spending a lot of time with them.
You are spending a lot of time with them. No, and it's like, that's also like, they're literally getting into your zone of genius. Right. You know what I mean? And it's like, you don't want to be steered incorrectly. You don't want to be thrown off your game. Like, you want to make sure that you have the proper counsel around you. And that even goes to like finding out references and asking people who have worked with them as well. Or like, what do you know about this person? Like, I am very much like, I'm not afraid to ask questions. Like, I am like not going to just take your word for it, because I've already gone through the process, especially having had a virtual assistant agency where I was assigning assistants to business owners. I had to do my due diligence because now they're representing me in my company, you know? And so I do think it's like, go the extra mile. Don't be lazy when it comes to hires. Don't just hire off of whatever random network. Like, I always say, it's not about the what, but the who. And if you can find the right who's, like, you're set for life when it comes to your business, for sure.
Yeah. I have you read that book?
I have.
So good.
I'm
a big fan of Dan Sullivan and Dr. Benjamin Hardy. I've read all his books. I love him.
Yeah.
It's such a good book. It's actually what got me to hire my first virtual assistant.
Really?
Yeah. She was with me for about a year and a half. I miss her every day.
Aww.
But she was great. But also, like, when she left, I hired another one. I didn't trust my gut. And I still did it because we needed it. Yeah. And then when she left, I realized we talked about it as a team. Yeah. They didn't necessarily want it. They were like, let's try it without them. Let's rely more on tech. And we were able to figure it out. But that book is essential for entrepreneurs to read. Okay. So love this answer. Yes. Excellent answer on that. Those are great tips. For anybody that doesn't know where to start, right?
Yeah, start there.
What about, like, how do I know what to hand off? What, like, the tasks, am I handing off authority to make decisions? Like, how do I put a stopgap in that? Like, what is your viewpoint on that? Like,
so the first thing that I always say is, what is going to free you up to get more business, right? So what, number one, is bogging you down that you just absolutely hate in your business? Because I think the thing that's, like, unfortunate about entrepreneurship is when you are a solopreneur and you're just starting to, like, scale your team, like, you're doing so much to where sometimes it's like that burned out feeling that it's like you just no longer enjoy your business. You know what I mean? Like, you no longer enjoy what it is that you do. So I think it's like going back to those basics, foundations, and really getting, like, real with yourself of, like, what brings me the most joy, number one, and number two, what will also help my business to grow and bring me the most revenue. Those are the activities you should be focusing on, because you should not have everything delegated. Like, everything should not be off of your plate. You are the business owner. You do need to have boots on the ground, right? But at the same time, starting with just the simple of, like, what's draining me and doesn't need my expertise. Those two questions alone will start to identify a plethora of tasks that you can start to delegate and what can start to get off your plate, so you can start to then focus on what's going to help you grow and move and develop in your business, right? So I think just starting there, people can write literally a list of, like, 10 things. And then you're like, oh, wait, I just found something for this type of assistant to do, right? Because there's also different levels of expertise of assistant. Maybe you don't need an EA. Maybe you just need a tech VA, right? Maybe you just need somebody because you just cannot stand for the life of you the technology part of your business. Okay, so then just hire that person for the tech. Like, there's different ways to look at it to where you can optimize, number one, your money in your business and making sure that you're budgeting correctly for your hires, but also making sure that you're just hiring for the right sets of tasks. And then as you grow and scale, then you can start to bring in more people, something a little bit more grounded. But I think just starting with those two simple questions will get you exactly to where you need to be.
I think that's so critical. And it's so funny because all of this is so hard to do as an entrepreneur, to identify even those tasks. Like, I was talking to somebody this week, a consultant, when it comes to, like, acquiring insurance agencies. And he was like, audit your time. And I'm thinking to myself,
who wants to do that?
I was like, I'm afraid to know how much time I waste, first of all. Second of all, I was like, well, I mean, I know what that means.
Yeah.
But how?
Mm-hmm.
Like literally, because in my mind, I'm like, well, if I know I'm auditing my time, I'm going to do more because I have to write it down. Like I'm going to fake it to myself.
Yeah. And you can do that. And sometimes it does. I will say sometimes it does require somebody like going into your brain to pull it out for you. And like, that's like, what,
I think
like,
I'm one of those.
Yeah. Because sometimes it's like you either just don't have the discipline or sometimes your headspace is just not there. And sometimes you just need somebody to literally go into your brain, ask you the questions, pull it all out of you. And then you're like, oh, wow. So that's why like I always recommend having consult calls, doing audits, like doing these things that are going to get you to where you need to be, because it's like sometimes it's also like you're so in it that you don't even know.
I was going to say, sometimes you're doing a task and you wouldn't even consider it a task.
Correct.
That could be handed off because it's just second nature.
Exactly. So it's like you have to like look through the different departments of your business. So it's like the admin part, the marketing part, the sales, the finance, like going through those different segments and seeing like what your founder dependence is in each of those segments of your business. And when you can run through that, you're like, wait a second. Like I just had an operations audit with a client the other day, and she is the CEO of her business, but yet she is still receiving the customer service like tickets of when things are like payments are not going through or access. And I'm like, why are you still doing that?
Yeah.
What is going on?
Do you think, would you say that the majority of the time it's a fear of lack of control?
Oh, 100%, because it's hard to trust. It's hard to trust, and it's hard to release control and power as the founder, because I think we have a fear, an innate fear of either whatever past hiring experiences you've had, or even just moving forward, where it's like, if my hands are not in it, it's not going to get done, and it's not going to get done the way that I want it to look like. And I think that's a very terrible mindset and perspective to hold on to, because you become the own bottleneck for your business. Like people are like, what's your bottleneck? What's your bottleneck? Like most of the time it's the owner. Most of the time the bottleneck of the business is the founder. And it's because of that fear of letting go, that fear of, well, what if? Honestly, sometimes they do it even better. You know what I mean? Like sometimes the people you hire will do the task and role and look at your system and say, hey, wait, this can be done better. Actually, I know this like tech, or I know this AI, or I know this system that works really well. And then you're like, wait a second, why didn't I do this a long time ago? So I think it's more so than anything, getting business owners to a place of like practicing letting go of that fear mindset and really moving more so in a place of like trust and faith in people again, and like hope of like, actually, wait, this can happen. I can do this. I can trust somebody with my business, as long as you have the right steps in place for people to go through that process. Because also trust is earned. You know what I mean? Like respect is earned. So I think like if you can have those systems and structures in place when it comes to hiring somebody, you also just feel a lot better. But start with something that will help you at least pull it out of you, like an audit or something, if you can't handle it like on your own, you know?
If you're going to lie to yourself.
Yeah.
Like, he was like, you need to audit your time. And I was like, man, I don't know.
Yeah.
I was like, we've tried that before. I'm like,
I just filled it in.
I was like, I know you color stuff red and yellow. And it was like every 15 minutes you write down what I'm doing.
It's like,
yeah, but I'll fake it.
How often do you actually do that?
I'll be super productive that day. It's crazy. It's crazy though. It's crazy. I always say this, that this is owning a business is the biggest tool of self-development anyone can go through.
100%.
And it's so raw. It's so exposing because people are watching you. And at the end of the day, it's like, if you don't grow, now, if you don't want to grow, that's different.
Correct.
But like in theory, like if your business isn't growing and things aren't moving, then you're automatically like, well, what's wrong with you?
Yes.
And I feel that.
Yeah.
You know, like, well, why can't I get, and it's me. It what, not this year.
Yeah. She's like, actually, I made some progress.
I've done some work this year. No, but last year was that year for me. I was exactly what you said. So much noise about how other people have done it.
Yeah.
And it's funny because thank you. You're always so supportive of my Yap challenge videos.
I love it. I live for
dying,
it.
cringing. But in that challenge, she says something that it's interesting, and I had never thought about it, and it applies to business, even for content creation. It's like you have to stop consuming,
Yes,
because then you can't create.
Nope.
And it's the same thing in business. I realized I was learning so much. I'm an avid learner. I learned too much without implementing that it's like, I want to know how you did it and you did it and you did it. What's working for you? What's working for you? That then I am frozen. I'm paralyzed.
No, it's 100% analysis paralysis.
I can't make a decision.
Correct.
Because if it worked for them, it doesn't mean it's going to work for me.
Exactly.
And so in my space, I heard a podcast. There's not a lot of women owners in my space. And so I heard Beth on this podcast and she said something that I it's crazy and it's so trivial, but it kind of gave me the permission.
Yeah.
And she was like, I know cold calling works, but I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And I don't like it. And I don't need to force my team to do it. If somebody wants to do it because that's their preferred way, great. I want to build the business though in my strength.
Correct.
And I thought to myself, oh my God.
Yeah.
After all these years.
Yeah.
I've always had this strength. I've been doing it, but it felt wrong. It felt like
everybody was doing it. And it was a new way of attracting business.
And it almost felt like the lazy way. Oh, you're just going to network your way through growing your business?
Yeah.
Like, why don't you get on the phone and dial 100 numbers a day?
Yeah.
I don't want to. And I'm not good at it. So why not just lean into my strength?
Correct.
And I promise you, Alexis, I think that has been... We're having our best year ever in business. And I think it's the mental pressure of the guilt of not doing it how everyone else has done it.
Yeah.
Isn't that, first of all, it's ridiculous.
No, it is ridiculous. And I think it's so funny that you said that because it's like how many I feel like any business owner that's watching this, I really encourage you to look into your industry and do that because how many business owners are literally just, because they tell you look for mentorship so that way you don't repeat the same mistakes that I did or you don't repeat, which yes, 110%. But if we're really real with ourselves, we do what we do so good because of who we are. And if we can really tap into who we are and what we do so great, imagine if this is how much success we've had so far, how much further can you go if you just continue to tap into that strength? But because of the noise or because of the way it's been done or because it just becomes your own stumbling block. So I think it is a self-development progress and a self-development thing of okay, actually, let me start to really be who I know that I am and let me step into that superpower and then execute at 100.
Isn't that crazy?
It is. It's such a simple concept.
It's so simple.
But it's so difficult.
It's so simple. And it's the same with networking. I was talking to someone yesterday about it. And it's the second that you realize that you don't have to pretend to be something you're not. Oh. And when you go to a networking event, the more you are, the more business you get.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy.
150%. I've always had such I guess you could say a fight with the phrase fake it till you make it. I've always had such a fight because I feel a part of it is almost this delusional belief that you do have to have as an entrepreneur sometimes because you don't see it in front of you, that you do have to have faith and step out and do the thing.
And confidence. You have to have a little bit of
100% false confidence until it's you start to get there and do it and you're oh, wow, okay. But at the same time, I think it is bogus because so many people try to pretend to be who they are not. And then what happens is that they wind up becoming their own imposter in their space. And then they lose themselves and then they don't know how to operate. And that is so dangerous as a founder, especially when you have a team behind you. Because when you lose yourself, you lose your focus, you lose your vision because you're so busy putting on a front of someone you're not or where your business is not. That just trickles down. And now it's you don't just start doubting yourself, you start doubting your employees, you start doubting your plan, you start doubting your clients, you start doubting your business, you start to doubt a lot. And so I do think it's really important that people, although it does take a level, literally me and my friends were we just live in a state of delulu every now and then.
Also, my mantra, it's worked this year. It's audacity.
The audacity.
I have audacity this year that I've never had, and it's working.
Yes, because you do have to step out, but it's I can have audacity and still be who I am.
Right.
I can have audacity and still be real about where I am in my business and honest, because if we can get honest about where we are right now, that is the only way to be transparent about how to grow forward, because I can now identify what is going on with me, where I'm lacking, where I'm really good. And I'm oh, great. Well, now I know what to fix and now I know what to do. Wonderful. And I'm sure that's probably why you've grown so much, because you were able to do that self-acknowledgement and say, okay, great.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
How it's so personal. It's so personal. And I've always heard too that your growth in your business depends on your personal growth.
Yes.
Like they're so connected.
Yes.
And not that I fought it, but I didn't see it. I didn't see it in living proof like I have this year.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's wild. It's wild. The concept of how personal this game is. It really is.
That's honestly, that is like such a win in my book because I'm like, yes, please every business owner take note of this. My God, before you come to me.
Interesting enough. Next question then for you is, how do I know when to hire you? Like, when is the pain too far gone? Like, what's the signal that's like, it's time?
Yeah.
The systems are going to break.
This is such a great question because I just had this conversation right before I came here. So there is a such thing as hiring an operations strategist too early. 110%. And the reason why is because until you have something like tested, tried and true, it can be very difficult for someone to step into your business and start to analyze anything because it's almost like having like proof of concept or research. Like that's why all these scientists and all these people, they do like all these years of research to like really prove a concept or see what's working, see what's not. It's the same thing in business. Sometimes it's like you do need that initial skeletal build, which a lot of people do need, right? But when it comes to like specifically what I do, when it comes into operations strategy and scaling your business, until you have some sort of proof of concept that things are working in your business or maybe hit like a certain rev. Like I don't work with any businesses that work under 200K, like, in rev for the year. And the reason why is because if you've at least gone to that point, you have a proof of concept that's working. You have systems that are in place that are quote unquote working for now that got you to that point. But how are you going to scale from there? So once you hit that threshold in your business where you start to realize and do a lot of self-reflection work and say, okay, wait, actually, I can see where I'm holding myself back. I can see where these things can be better. Like you can acknowledge there's no pride in the game. There's no ego in the game. You're like, no, I'm here for game time. That's when you come to someone like me and you're like, okay, perfect, Alexis, help me look at what's working, what's not, get so in the weeds with me, which is also really hard for a lot of business owners to do because it requires you to stop. And a lot of business owners don't have the time to do that. So doing that, and then we get to see everything and we're like, oh, wow. Okay, perfect. It's time for us to go ahead and run through all these things. And now there's proof of concept on what needs to work or what needs to get fixed and what needs to change or, any of those things. So I think it's like, do you have your proof of concept that things are working and running and flowing in your business? Yes or no? If it's not, there might need to do a little bit more business development, things like that. If it is, okay, perfect. Let's look at your ops and let's see what we can do better.
That makes sense too, because it's the saying that like sales cures everything, like more sales cures everything. And it's that concept of even, it's funny because I was talking on this week with that gentleman about acquisitions. And I was like, he would ask me, oh, how have you grown your business so far for 6 years? And I said, networking, referrals, me, which I was like, I need to kind of amplify it and I need to do certain things. And I was going to run some ads. And I told him, I was like, I don't know. I'm just kind of so scared of like the volume, because we're not a volume based business.
Yeah.
The volume, like breaking my systems. Like, and he told me, Ciara, don't find a solution for a problem that doesn't exist yet.
Yeah.
Create the problem.
Yep.
Then you find the solution.
Yep.
I was like,
wait a second.
I was like, wow, that's mind blowing. Because he was like, you don't even know what you're fixing. There's nothing to fix.
There's nothing to fix yet.
Create the problem.
You're assuming.
Right.
You're literally assuming. Right. But when you do that.
That's what we do.
Which is, again, there has to be a level of precaution, right? Because the fulfillment of services obviously is huge. If you cannot fulfill what you are offering or what the value or like, you know what I mean? Like those foundational things. And it's like, okay, obviously you have to be a little, but at the same time, it's like, how do you know there's even going to be an issue yet? Like, actually, maybe your systems do survive.
Right. No, I'm just thinking I'm going to get 1,000 quote requests a day.
Yeah. But I mean, hey, but I'm like, again, solution though. And maybe in the interim, you're like, okay, wait, well, while I'm finding the solution, let me email these people at least and tell them, hey, I'm working on this. I'm going to get back to you and whatever. Everything can be managed. You should never stop yourself, but you definitely should be smart enough to then pull somebody in that can help you solve that problem. 100%. You should never, ever, ever be the bottleneck for your business ever.
And we all are.
Yep.
Okay. So then let's say, so I'm at the 400 in rev, right? And I have my proof of concept and I bring you in.
Mm-hmm.
What does that process look like? Are you like bird's eye viewing everything? What's the roadmap?
Yeah.
And I know it might be different for every business, but in general, like what should I expect from a time perspective, right? Like how much time am I going to dedicate to you? The onboarding, things like that. Give me some time.
So the first thing that I do with everybody is an operation strategy audit. And so basically that's where I have you fill a form out. It's very in-depth. I'm asking you all the things. And then what we do essentially is we have a 2-hour in-depth session. And during that time, it is bird's eye view, but I come in with my own double almost questionnaire where I am literally in the weeds of your business with you. So it's not necessarily bird's eye view. It's literally down to how does this get transferred to this? How does this person communicate with this person? Where are the breaks happening with your vendors? Like I'm asking you all of like the nitty gritty things from your form that you say is not working well or excelling in your business. So yes, every business is different and where those breaks happen, but in that call, we are going through it. After that, essentially it's about like a 2-week process to where I do further market research. I'm looking into the systems you're using, into the software. I'm looking into the roles of your team. I'm going through the gaps. I'm also using, AI. I'm using all the things that are going to help to really compile the best strategy for that. And then we are going to have a call. It's going to be an hour and a half, and it's going to be running through that entire number one audit of like, hey, this is where things are working so well in your business. Keep doing it. This is where the inefficiencies are. And this is exactly what is breaking apart right now in your business. And now this is what we need to do in order to get all of that done. And so essentially that's where I do create like a 90-day roadmap of like first 30 days, this is what we're doing. 60 days, phase 2, this is what we're doing. 90 days, this is what we're doing.
Question.
Yep.
And so then the entrepreneur is going back and doing it, right? And you're holding them accountable?
Not necessarily.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, no, not necessarily. Okay. So after the audit, this is where we have the conversation of who's going to build it out. Right? Okay. Like who's going to build it out? Who's going to be the implementer? Who's going to make it happen for you? And so at that point is where number one, maybe they have a team of people that can build it out. Right. So normally what they'll do is they'll bring me in to talk it through with them, do the training with the team, see what's going on, have that conversation. And then they do have support to me after that for 30 days to where I can step in and have those conversations and do whatever is necessary, or they can choose my team to build it out. And so during that process, it's about 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, I would say, depending on what it is that we're building out according to their audit and everything like that. And at that point, it's literally boots on the ground. We are in it. We are making things happen. I am talking with you on a weekly basis. We are showing you the progress updates. The SOPs are getting built out. The software is getting built out. The trainings are getting built out. The looms are getting built out. And then even more so that once it is built out, if at that point is now where your team steps in, that's when we do the team training. So I'll train your team on everything we just created, how to implement it, what that looks like. And now let's say they don't have somebody on their team and they're like, okay, well, great. I have this entire build out system, but who's going to manage it for me?
That's the problem.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. That is where they then can hire either myself, a retainer, or someone, a part of my team on retainer to be the operator for them.
That's another huge part of the problem. It's that even if you're building it, who's updating it?
Correct.
Who's maintaining it?
Correct.
It needs to be someone on the team.
It has to be someone on the team. And if you don't have someone on the team, again, that's where we can step in to be that role. Or even I've done this too. I've literally gone out and done the hiring process for the person. So for my client, she has like an entire production firm and she was like, listen, I need X, Y, and Z role. These are the salaries that I can offer, but I just cannot even fathom to go through this whole process and find the person and train them. I was like, no problem. So that was a part of the build out, was finding the person, doing the interviews, doing the role, making sure that doing the testing, making sure that they knew what they were doing, and then training them and putting them into that position so that they can implement. So it's really just about like, I think something about myself is I can acknowledge very well what I am great at. And I can also acknowledge very well where somebody, again, the who needs to be better in that role. So my zone of genius is identifying those strengths in people and really seeing, do they have the character, the grit, the skill set in order to grow? Because everything else can be trained. I feel like everything else can be trained at that point. So yeah, I'm just like, all right, perfect. maybe it's not me. Maybe it's not my team. And I'll tell you that right now. I'll be like, absolutely not. But I will find you the person. Let's do this. Let's host the interviews. Let's get X, Y, and Z done. And then boom, you guys are good to go. So
that's fascinating. And in your experience with all the entrepreneurs that you've worked with, what would you say is a common theme of them being stuck?
Honestly, I feel like it's like the hurdle of getting started. It's literally the hurdle of getting started. They're like, because the first thing that everybody tells me on just the consult call, I don't know where to start. I don't know where to begin, Alexis. There's literally brain dump, word vomit, this. And they're like, I'm sorry, it's so overwhelming. I'm like, well, it's not overwhelming for me. This is what I do. This is what I do day in and day out. So in my brain, I'm just thinking in solutions as you're, word vomiting on me. But I really do think it's just the mental block of, how do I get started? What do I start with first? There's so many parts of my business. I'm not sure. If you can get over that thought and just book the call, like I think even just that, because they're like, you think you have to come prepared to those things and you do not. I'm sorry. If you feel like you need to come prepared to that, you should not be working with that person, because clearly they're just waiting for you to tell them everything that they need to do instead of like pulling it out of you or being the strategist that they're supposed to be. And so really it's like you should come into that session just ready to just drop it all on them. And then they come to you with perfect. From my expertise, from what I'm doing, this is exactly what I would suggest. This is where we should start and all of that. You should come out of that session feeling clear and comforted almost in that way of like, okay, actually this is a safe space.
You're borderline a therapist.
Yeah. This is a safe space. It's okay. Take a deep breath. We're going to get through this. We're going to just step by step. I promise you, it's not going to be like this crazy overhaul, because that's not sustainable, So I think it's really like, oh my gosh, Alexis, I don't know where to get started. I don't know what to do. Don't worry. You don't have to know. That's why I'm here. That's literally why I'm here.
And so then anybody that has this, let's say somebody has done this with prior consultants at some point and or them by themselves, like how often do you suggest that people audit these things?
That's a great question, honestly. I am a person where I like to think in quarters. So quarters are like my thing. First, second, third, fourth quarter. Every quarter, there should be some sort of audit or review of what's working and what's not. It may not necessarily need to be so in depth, right? But there should be a touch point where you are reviewing and working on your business, not in your business. And a lot of business owners, they get lost in translation where it's like they don't necessarily have any KPIs that they're tracking, or they don't have like these things that they're holding themselves accountable to. So that's when you start to just mumble jumble everything and it gets really crazy. But if you can get yourself accountable to a point where it's like every 3 months, I know that we're going to review all of these things. I know that we're going to test, because also it takes about 90 days to see if something's working or not, to see if it's like been tested, what's the feedback, like going through that whole process. So I always say, give yourself 90 days. So every 90 days, I would be checking in on like maybe just like a very simple audit, something that you have that maybe you and your team are running through, or maybe that you're meeting with a strategist on and going through. But at least every 6 months to a year, you should be doing like an in-depth audit of your systems and business, especially if you have growth and ideas of where you want to go with your business. Because also not every business is looking to grow. Right. Some businesses are just looking to maintain. Some businesses are just looking to, or business owners are just looking for like, how can I essentially move things off my plate? Because I just want to work less. Like I want to be with my family more. I feel like my business is in a good place right now. I know that I can have someone step into my role. So it's not necessarily always about growth. It's more so about like, work-life balance and what that looks
efficiencies.
Like. And
I think that we're living in an era. I mean, today I've gotten 3 referrals of consultants, right? In different areas, one for nonprofits, but a lot of people are going out on their own to have a lifestyle business.
Yes.
They're fine making $100,000 and 150, 200 and not having a team.
Yeah.
And working from home, and that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the thing is that life happens in seasons. And when we can acknowledge that like I in my 20s was in a very hustle minded season. Like I was going crazy, building businesses, doing all the things, going all the networking events, all the things. Now that I'm like in my 30s, my kids are my kids are a little bit older now, you know, in my brain, I'm just like, I've done all the things. I've made the money. I've done the networking and the like now I'm in a place of like, I actually just want to feel peace. Like I want to feel peace in my life. I want to feel peace with my business. I don't want to stress or worry or think about all the calls or this or that I have to take. It's like at the end of the day, work is work and you got to put in the work to get to where you want to be. But also like your sanity and your lifestyle and the way that you live this life, especially if you have a family, I feel like goes way beyond because time passes so quickly. And if you're not going to like look back on your life and feel proud of what you've done, feel proud of where you spent your time, especially, what are you doing it for?
Yeah.
You know,
honestly, we're saving PDFs here.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
We're not heart surgeons. We're brain surgeons. So really, it's at the end of the day, what is any of this for?
Yeah. Like, what is it for? You know, I feel like a lot of that gets lost in translation. So I feel like if we can all kind of ground ourselves in that and remember that, that's when we actually start to build the businesses that we really want. It's not just about money anymore.
No,
it's about how can I build this lifestyle for me and my family to get to be where we want to be, you know?
What a great conversation. I could talk to you forever. Tell me, so that's great operations about a business, but I want to hear about you. What have you learned about yourself in this process?
That is a great question. I think it's the question everybody always tries to like, wait a second, I got to dig in deep here. I think what I've learned about myself the most is that I just really love people. Like I really love people. I am such an empathetic person to where let's not say I don't care about money.
No, right.
Let's not say I don't care about money.
Listen.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I have such like a heart for servant leadership to where I just truly enjoy bringing people peace, like bringing people joy, like bringing excitement to their life, like making them feel relieved. Like I just really enjoy people. And I think that's not for a lot of people. People get annoyed with people all the time. You know what I mean? They're like, my social battery is
I think I'm on a little bit of this side. from
like,
that.
You know, but I think I just have a heart for people. And I feel like that has been such like a beautiful, I guess like journey to walk, because I just always knew that the work that I did or wanted to do had to involve some sort of level of impact. It could not just be about building things and growth and money and this. And like for me, I needed to make a positive impact on somebody's life. If I am making a positive impact on your life, I'm doing exactly what I need to do, whether I'm cleaning up a room or I'm building systems in your business, you know? And so I think that's just been like a beautiful, like, again, like a beautiful journey to walk, because I'm just like, wow, okay, I can actually just be really just tapped in with what I love to do and love on people and care for people in such like a unique way in their business, to where the impact that I'm making is real. If I can save somebody 10, 20 hours a week, 40 hours a month, whatever it is, and they get to spend more time with their family because of that, and they're just on another level, I'm not just creating like a ripple effect in my business where I'm getting a good review. Right. I'm now impacting their family, that person's wife, that person's husband, their kids. Like now they have more time with their parent. Like that stuff excites me. And so I feel like that is just, I mean, I honestly couldn't ask for anything more, but I think it's kind of just, again, when you dive in deep, you start to see, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the why. That's your anchor.
Exactly.
So and honestly, whether it's operations or in systems, it could be in 15 years, it could be a different method.
Yeah.
Because it's impact.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
This is the vehicle for it now, but you know, it could change. That's great. I love that. No, and I love that for you, because it's not me.
She's like, someone has to.
No. It's funny because I was talking to somebody today and I said, you know, I'm really super passionate about just helping. Obviously, insurance is such an afterthought for people. And I know nobody likes to pay the bill. But for me, it's like, I see that not only is it protection for the business, but also like if their insurance program is right, they can grow.
Oh, 100%.
Qualify for larger contracts. Like, so for me, that's it. Like being the person that's positions them to receive growth. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Which like your level of impact.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, what do you think, like in the next, like if you see Alexis in the next 5 years, like in your head, like what do you have in store? What's the vision of you personally?
Oh my goodness. You know, it's so funny. Anytime I get asked this question, I feel like I have like PTSD with COVID, because when people would ask me that, like back then, I'm like, I see all of these wonderful things. And now I'm like, I'm literally don't know what's going to happen next year.
Honestly, that's fair.
You know,
it's fair.
But I will say something that I do see for myself that I know is I really just do see myself kind of just expanding beyond this role to something that is on a higher level of impact. Something that I've always aspired to do is community impact. And so it's funny enough, I actually went to college for social services. And I was volunteering. I was working with foster youth. I was doing all the things. So for me, where I would love to see myself in 5 years is probably number one, just trying to get to larger audiences to share the power of what life can bring you in entrepreneurship, what life can bring you when you do that self-development, what life can bring you when you truly just like trust your gut and do things that you love, to show mothers that you can have kids and build a business successfully, you know. And something that even more so that I've always had a passion for is working with foster youth, specifically teens and teen moms, and really teaching and helping them build high-level skill sets in order to build money and a career and wealth for themselves, besides like whatever it is. Because I already know that they get hit with a lot of just stumbling blocks and this and is required for this and just all the things. But I just truly believe that like God's given us all just a very individual, beautiful gift. And if somebody can give that kid, teen, youth an opportunity to excel in that, I believe that builds generational impact and growth. And so for me, I would love to be a part of that process of like building a program where I can not just pull my brain, but pull a bunch of different people's brains and their skill sets and what it is that they can do to bring these people into a program that it's like, they're not just making $15 an hour. They're not just making $20 an hour. Like, no, they could actually come in with learning how to build and develop AI and websites and code. And, you know, like all these things are learning how to help people build out their systems and processes, or maybe it's marketing or, you know, UGC, whatever it may be. But it's something that's of value that is going to make a difference for their lives sustainably. And so that's something that I do see myself kind of like diving more into is what more impactful work can I do for my community outside of my business?
That's amazing. You see, but that's how you have it.
Yeah.
It's your gift.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And I'm obviously no doubt that you'll accomplish it.
Yeah. Thank
you. Okay. So we've talked operations about you personally.
Yeah.
Tell me about the building of the business and Alexis, like simultaneously from the concept of like growth. How do you, how have you identified the people?
Yeah.
What's your networking strategy? Like, do you have one?
Yeah.
Are you like, are you running ads? What are you doing?
So this is, I feel like it's a little unconventional for me because I feel like I have done the conventional things of networking and joining the groups
and the chamber,
going to the, and I haven't even touched like chambers. Like I haven't even touched like those high network, like I haven't even done any of that. I think for me, one thing that I will say has always been huge for me is social media. So social media has always been like a breeding ground for me because if there's something that I know how to do really well is I know how to tell a story. And so because I know how to tell a story, I have been able to connect with people in a way to where before they even meet with me, they know me. And so because they know me, the conversation is so much smoother. And even people who have never met me, they refer a bunch of business to me because of my vulnerability and openness on social media. I mean, I think it's hard for a lot of people to do that because they're like, what are people going to say? Or what are they going to think? And I'm like, I've been honest about my entire journey. I've been very open in a strategic way that's going to help my business. Obviously, I do feel like there is such a thing as oversharing on social media, but I have walked through because it's through that relational point that people can identify themselves within you. And when they can do that, I feel like it just, again, the ripple effect, because it's not just one person, it's a bunch of people, and that person tells that person and that person tells that person, right? And it's all about building and developing that brand. So I feel like for me, I just always known that if I can do that on a consistent basis and I can continue to show that I do solve problems with social proof, I will always be in business and I will always grow, because they know Alexis as the problem solver. With wherever I was, I did network marketing. I did wherever I was the problem solver. So whether I was selling a product or I was selling a service, I'm like, hey, well, this is what I can do. And this is how, and this is XYZ person that I did it with. And this is what I did to help them. And it was just that consistent storytelling that really helped me to grow my business, which also in turn helped me to grow personally, because I had to be real about my journey. And when you're real about your journey, you're like, right, you're like, wait a second. So I shared the ups and downs. I shared about my dance studio closing and what I learned from that and how that made me progress and teach other business owners what not to do. I've had bad business partners that I've shared about. I've gone through divorce. I've gone through all of these personal life changes where it's like, could have just taken me out. Honestly, right. I could have just been like, oh my God, I'm done. But through identifying those, I guess, opportunities where I could step in and just be really real and raw, it also provided me opportunities to meet people that could pour into me in that season, because it was just a natural connection. So even, for example, with like the Daily Drip and meeting Nicole and meeting Romy, how that happened was I had seen them for a while, but I just felt like in the moment, I'm like, I don't know if this is it. Like, this is, I'm just not sure. But me being open about what I was going through in my life on social media, I was connected to somebody that was in the Daily Drip, and they were like, oh my gosh, Alexis, like, you got to get connected here. So that in turn led me to join. And that was when I met Romy, and then I met Nicole, and then I met all of you. I met you. I met all these other people. And through that, again, another growth in business. And I even changed my business in the midst of being in the Daily Drip. So it's like, even to have that backing and support, I think it all just came from stemming from the foundations of what I knew, which is, if I can be open, if I can tell a story, if I can share, if I can be strategic in my journey and be committed, like just being so committed to that, the growth is endless.
I love that you said this, because you're the 69th person I've had in this chair and nobody has said this.
Really?
Everyone's doing it traditionally.
No way.
Yep. So I want to ask you, from your perspective, what is the skeleton and the structure of a good story? Like, do you sit there and script?
I could give you know what? I will say this. In my brain, because I come from like the background of branding, I mean, I could give you like, like the brand script of it, of having like, oh, you have like the antagonist, and then you have the problem, and then you have the solution, you have the Cinderella story.
Because none of us are going to know what that means.
Yeah, correct. And that's like the whole, story brand, love it. Great.
Oh, such a
great model. Used it forever. But for me, what I like to do when it comes to telling a good story is I like to think of my ideal client, and sometimes I'm my own ideal client. But I like to think of my ideal client, and I like to think about the different goals that they have and the different pain points they have. And then what I do from that is I then start to create and list videos that I know will be, or even in my stories where I know will be relevant. So sometimes it'll happen like right after a strategy session, and I do not waste any time. I grab my phone and I talk it straight off my head of what just happened and what were the wins and the realizations, what were some of the things that were working, what were not working. And then I'm able to talk through, because I'm like, oh my God, wait a second. And when I just share those things and then they see the end result, they're like, whoa. So I think it's about being a little preemptive when you're like going into like things in your business, to where it's like, can I be strategic about my time? It doesn't necessarily take you sitting down and blocking out 2 hours. And because yes, that does matter when it comes to like building out a full scale, marketing plan and content plan. But I really think it's about taking advantage of those little moments in our day of like, what are the little moments in my day where I have a win? Or what are the little moments in my day where maybe I had a huge loss? Right. What are the little moments in my day where even just today, I had like a crazy morning. It was really chaotic. Like, oh my gosh, like my battery died. My kids were crazy. But I literally ended the video and I was like, nonetheless, I'm just trusting God and I'm just going to keep on going. And I had so many people DM me, Alexis, I had such a crazy morning too. Yeah. Oh my gosh, keep going. I just needed to see this. And what am I doing? I am building trust with my audience.
People are so desperate to connect. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And nobody wants to connect with someone that has it all together. Well, first of all, we know it's a lie.
We know it's a lie. Correct. Right? Yeah.
So automatically, there's no trust.
No.
Your audience trusts you zero.
Correct. It's so fake. And I cannot stand that. And it's so funny because thankfully with Instagram has stories, and I love Instagram stories. I love feed posts, but I love stories because you really get to like talk or connect or share. And so I always, if I'm sharing a good moment, I am always also sharing the reel that happened behind it, because I'm just like, I never want somebody to come onto my platform and think that I just magically
woke up like this.
I woke up like this with like fairies and butterflies and sparkle dust and all the wonderful things. I'm like, no, because guess what? I'm going to sell you a dream that's not real. And what's going to happen is that you're then going to look to me and you're going to look at my life and then you're going to start to compare. And I'm like, am I really doing you a service? No, I'm doing you a disservice. And so many people online are doing so many people disservices. And it's like, it's because of the selfishness of what content has become, because it's become about dollars. It's become about following. It's become about all of these things. And I've just always said, like, I would start over my profile tomorrow if it really meant that I would be impacting people more with the content that I'm doing, rather than getting to even 100K, 1 million following. And it's literally the same Joe Schmo gross content about people who are living a fake life that is not happening. Because guess what? Then that's when you start to see behind the scenes of, oh my gosh, so-and-so just got a divorce after like 10 years together. And they were creating couple content online, like all the families or all the business owners who were, oh my God, they were so successful, right? They're living in the Miami penthouse tower, but then in the back end, they have employees who are talking about like harassment and this and that and whatever. So it's like, are you really successful? Are you really doing the things you need to do? Probably not. So I just feel like if we can actually be more honest and vulnerable in our journey and really just take advantage of those little moments, like you're going to get so much further, because you're also going to attract people that you actually like.
And the thing is too, that if you're selling that story and this version of I wake up and everything's perfect and all that, when people come to engage with you for your services, they're going to expect that you turn them into that.
100%.
It's like, no, I'm not like a magician. That's actually not what I do, right?
Actually, you have to have a level of, how can I say this? Yes, your job is to take somebody and bring them to a place that they have not been. That is why they are hiring you. Whether it's for insurance and they're looking for that safety and security and protection, whether it's through my services where they're looking for systems and processes and their team built out, whether it's for an entire marketing plan and they have that done off their brain. Yes, right? But at the same time, you will lose so much business and so much opportunity and so much credibility if you cannot sustain or obtain whatever it is that you are putting out there. So that is why I am always honest with people from the get. I am about like transparency 110% because I never, ever want my reputation to be, oh, she's a fake.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Because I feel like, how are you going to come back from that? That is hard to come back from. Then you got to do the whole apology video.
The apology tour.
And I'm like, disgusting.
Nope, not here.
I'm not here. We're not doing that, actually. Rather you just know me from the get. Thank you very much.
I love it. This has been so such a great conversation, and I love that you're doing things so differently.
Thank you.
Because like I said, like and the majority of people that's in the seat are in very conventional, traditional, old style businesses, and they're scared to do those things, and they're still they're at the age where
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, but oversharing makes me look unprofessional. No, the consumers change. I'm giving a presentation in
Yeah.
Vegas in September
Oh, that's exciting.
where we talk about this.
Good.
We talk about the buying behavior and the people that are coming into power.
Love that.
And the people that are coming into money. And they're buying trust first.
110%.
So it's like we can't build business for the consumer from yesterday.
Nope.
We got to be where they are, talk how they talk, and overshare to an extent.
Correct.
Right. But protect also what is yours and does not need to be. Oversharing is not spilling everything.
Correct.
And that's also the other end of people getting it way wrong.
Yeah. No, it's normally like 0, 100, but I'm so happy you said that because I think like if anybody can take that away, it's like allow yourself to be vulnerable, allow yourself to be honest, but also have the right structure and support systems in place that can guide you through that process. So that way you can share your story correctly and you don't feel so vulnerable to a point where now you're exposing people who are closest to you.
Right.
You know, there's a way to do it and there's a way to do it right. And clearly we've seen that through all these different brand successes that are, you know, sharing their story online. So I think it's just get with the right people, make intentional moves, and you're going to get to where you want to be.
Yeah. I love that. Last question for you.
Yeah.
What would be your best piece of business advice for an entrepreneur? I'm lying. It's not the last question. Go ahead. But I scratch that. We're not. One more question before that last question.
Okay.
You get an advantage. You get to think about it.
Okay.
But I really wanted, because I know that you had said, I had forgot to ask.
Yeah.
You had said, you know, that you work with 200K and up generally. What can somebody that's starting under that threshold, what are some things that they can do to like fix their ops or get started?
To get started. Yeah, that's a good question. So this is where I will say handy dandy AI is your best friend. It is your best friend. I love Claude. Love Claude. I'm like, sponsor me. Love Claude. But I do think number one, something that I will say is maybe a business development coach. It will be probably your first step to where somebody that you're not going to pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, that is not necessary, but somebody that you can trust where you can have a strategy session with them just to get the basics in place. That was what I was doing before, where I would meet with somebody for like 90 minutes and we would just go through just like the skeleton. And then I would encourage them and show them with AI how to then go in and prompt correctly for their business and create just like a basics ops and strategy plan. So some very simple things to start with: client intake, your onboarding, like very simple from like literally from the first point of contact to fulfillment of services. What is that process? That is probably the first process you should put in place and identify. AI can help you with that. That is probably as basic as it comes. So build something, test it, try it. If it's not working and you're seeing gaps, that's where then you start to seek out maybe those like one-off sessions. You start to bring in those people, right? But I think it's just identifying from client contact to client fulfillment what that streamlined process is. Start there. And then maybe some other systems that you can like think to put in place, even with like strategizing with AI, is like a content development system, how you're pushing out your content. I would definitely recommend people, like if they're going to invest in anything, like it's like figuring out like your finances, what that looks like, just so you can kind of like start to prepare yourself a little bit. I always will encourage every single business owner, do not spend a ton of money until you are making money. Make sure that what you are doing first with those very preliminary things can get you at least to some sort of consistency. I don't care if it's 1 client a month or 2 clients a month. But at that point is when you should then start to think about, where do I actually need to invest? There's so many free tools. There's so many free systems that you can tap into. Start there and then start to invest in your business.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. Very good advice. Okay. So then that I knew.
I'm like, wait, what was the question again?
Good. I'm glad you forgot. I had that question and I didn't want to move on and I forgot. But I think it's valuable because, you know, the premise of the pod was this. It's like, I'm in a very supportive industry where people don't gatekeep and they share, but a lot of people are not.
Yeah.
And so I don't want an entrepreneur. My worst fear or like the thing I would regret the most is that someone quit on their journey of entrepreneurship because they felt alone.
Yep.
Absolutely. Because they didn't have a community. So I figured, okay, well, I could start this podcast and create resources for people. And so, you know, I wanted to answer that question just to have it out there.
No, that's a good question.
Best piece of business advice that you could give someone.
Best piece of business advice. Honestly, the best piece of business advice that I can give to somebody is stay in community. Community has saved me time and time and time and time and time and time and time again. Every single time. Every single time. I will never have enough ego. I will never have enough pride. I will never have enough of that to steer me away from knowing the power and impact of community. Because whenever I was down and out, whether it was mentally or in business or I had a question or whatever, if you are in a grounded community, people honestly are willing to support. Like I always say, like show up for people how you want to be supported. I show up for people. I go all in. You need me to promote your event. You need me to share your post. You need me to do whatever. I'm going to do it because guess what? I know that I'm going to need that back one day. And so as a business owner, if you can stay in community with people, if you can stay in touch, do not walk this journey alone, because I'm telling you, the lies and the confusion and things that come in your brain when things start to go wrong, because they will go wrong, you need a like guiding point, a dashboard, like a pointing star, a North Star to say, hey, stay focused. Don't give up. Here's some resources. Let me plug you in here. Let me plug you in here. That will save you every single time, because I'm sorry, I've never known for a community to not help people. So it's like, if you walk this journey alone, good luck.
Vaya con Dios.
Good luck.
Yeah.
If anything, I can say stay in community. You will always have exactly what you need, because there's so many special people out in this world, guys. And if you can just tap into that and not get selfish and in your own head, you're going to be successful. Just you there's no way you can give up if you have somebody literally pushing you along the way.
That's wonderful. This has been an incredible episode.
Yes,
thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Tell everybody where they can find you.
Absolutely. Well, everyone.
I'll put it in the show notes too.
Yeah. Virtualintegritypartners.com. That is my website. That is where you can find out all about our services, what it is that we offer. It's where you can book a fit call with me to see if we are a fit for you. I also have a free operations audit on there. So if there is something that's very preliminary, but it shows you where you are in your business and what stage you need to be essentially working on. So I have that there for you. You can also find me on Instagram, Virtual Integrity Partners, or my personal Instagram. It's Life with Lex, or even on LinkedIn, Alexis Mastrogianni. You'll find me there.
We'll put it all.
All of it will be there.
All of it. This was amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you for your
Ciara.
time.
I appreciate
it.
it.
Incredible. It was
Thank you.
awesome to get to know you.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Thank
a little
you
better.
so much.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.